Now at 10, family and friends remember the life of a victim taken by a hit-and-run collision. Plus, a piece of Southwest Missouri history finds itself in the hands of a new owner. And
the 4 states' most watched news starts now.
the Kansas Highway Patrol says they've identified the vehicle and the driver they say were involved in a fatal hit and run in Galena, Kansas Saturday night. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. This is a surveillance image of that vehicle, a Ford Raptor truck. Crash happened around 11:30 p.m. Saturday on State Highway 66 at milepost 2.9 on the western edge of Galena. Authorities say it involved that truck and a pedestrian. This man, 60-year-old Gary LaTurner of Galena. LaTurner was killed in the crash. His daughter says a lot of people are reaching out to the family.
I mean, hundreds of people have contacted me that I've never even met that have a crazy or funny story about my dad, and it's really shown me with how many shares things have gotten that this town wanted justice for my father just as much as me and my family.
Gary was a fixture in the community. Ever since I was a little kid, he's walked around town, and every time he sees the kids out and about throughout town, he'll stop by and entertain them for a little bit.
There's no word on whether authorities have charged a suspect in that case. Today is National Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day, and one hashtag is being used to help save lives. KOAM's Elise Noe tells us how the state of Kansas is raising awareness.
The hashtag #OnePillCanKill is being used to bring awareness across the state of Kansas. August 21st is recognized nationally as Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day, and law enforcement, Kansas congressional delegation, and community partners are uniting to bring awareness to the state. According to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, the state reported over 600 drug-related overdose deaths in 2021. Around half of those overdoses were related to synthetic opioids like illicit fentanyl. One mother in the Pittsburgh area, Kyle Campidi, lost her son Cooper to a fentanyl poisoning in April. She is using today to spread awareness to help save lives and honor her son. She created the Cooper Campidi Fentanyl Awareness Education Initiative to educate youths on fentanyl.
I wanted to create this initiative because I wanted him to live on. I wanted his name to live on, his legacy to live on, his memory to live on, and something good to come out of this.
If you or someone you know is experiencing substance abuse, you can contact the SAMHSA's helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. It's days like August 21st that reminds us that these drugs are in our area, affecting our community, and that education on this topic is of the utmost importance. Reporting in Crawford County, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
Now you can use the hashtag #OnePillCanKill to show your support for fentanyl awareness on social media. The campaign will run all week, sharing resources and information about the deadly drug. Well, it's been a hot one out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Sam Lane.
You're right. It's been a scorcher out there with temperatures well over 100 degrees and heat indexes even higher than that. Temperatures this afternoon, 103 in Yates Center, 102 in Chanute. These are the actual temperatures. 106 in Howard and 104 in Sedan this afternoon for some of the warmest readings. It was in the upper 90s just to the east where Monette topped out at about 95. But there is some tropical moisture down to the south. You can see the convection developing around the central dense overcast. This could become Tropical Storm Harold as it moves towards the west and comes ashore in South Texas. Hopefully some of that moisture will start to work its way to the north, giving us a little bit more cloudiness and also maybe help out on the temperatures a little bit. But tomorrow, UV index is going to be 11, which means it's extreme, and that means burn time of less than 10 minutes. And I'll have all the hot details in the forecast in just a bit.
See you soon. Authorities are looking for a man and woman in connection with an incident involving gunfire in Frontenac, Kansas Friday evening. It began at 212 West Lincoln Street, where resident Kenneth Phillips says his motorcycle had been pushed over and someone fled in a white SUV. Phillips says as he ran after that SUV, the driver, 28-year-old Sage Sprague of Pittsburgh, rolled down his window and fired a shot at Phillips in the front yard of 601 Mount Carmel Road. Phillips was not hurt. Authorities have since found the suspect vehicle in Cherokee, Kansas. They're still looking for Sprague and his suspected passenger, 27-year-old Kristen Romsberg of Weir, Kansas. A piece of Southwest Missouri history has a brand new owner. The historic Reddings Mill Inn hit the auction block in Newton County, Missouri. Built back in 1872, the inn traded hands a few times over the years before ending up with its current owner, who's actually also a former owner. The final bid, $380,000. A nearly $500,000 grant coupled with a $500,000 loan will help provide high-speed internet in more of southeast Kansas. The plan will connect 228 people, 6 businesses, and 39 farms in Labette and Montgomery counties. Wave Wireless will make high-speed internet affordable through participation in the Federal Communication Commission's Affordability Connectivity Program. The program aims to serve socially vulnerable communities, which are mostly rural, remote, and underserved communities. And in Missouri, Jasper County launches an initiative to better understand internet broadband gaps. The results will help the county develop a strategy to improve internet access and connectivity for its residents, businesses, farms, and institutions. The organizers say a critical component of the study is public input. So the county commission is asking for the public's help to spread the word. If you'd like to participate in the study, head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, where we've provided links for businesses and residents. It's first day of school for students in Joplin. Students at Soaring Heights Elementary arrived bright and early for the big day. We spoke to one 5th grader about why it's so important to start the first day of school on the right foot.
That 4th grade last year was the best, and I was in 4th grade last year, and so I was part of that. And now we want to make 5th grade the next level, and then keep going and keep going.
So when the students enter the building, it kind of feels like the reward that we have someone who we actually get to share all this knowledge and all this planning, and we've worked so hard to connect and figure out ways to help them grow.
The principal of Soaring Heights Elementary says they have several goals this year. One, they're focusing on improving attendance. Coming up, the President and First Lady get a first-hand look at wildfire damage in Hawaii. Plus, the Golden State digs its way out of the first tropical storm to hit the West Coast in almost 90 years. The city of Port Aransas, Texas, declared a local state disaster today ahead of impacts from Tropical Depression 9. The National Hurricane Center has issued a tropical storm warning for that city and some surrounding areas. The Texas Department of Transportation says it's prepared, working to clear drainage systems. Officials say Port Aransas could see flooding and severe damage, specifically along the beaches. All city beaches will be closed to overnight camping until Wednesday. President Biden and the First Lady are visiting Maui to get a first-hand look at the massive destruction caused by the wildfires there. The president is assigning a FEMA official to coordinate a long-term federal response. At least 114 people have been confirmed dead from those fires. The Maui County mayor now says 850 people are officially listed as missing. He's thanking the FBI and local police for locating more than 1,200 people. So far, no deaths are attributed to the first tropical storm to hit Southern California in 84 years. But the cleanup is not going to be easy or quick, with entire communities covered in several feet of mud in some places. Reporter Jason Allen has the latest.
A rescue crew used heavy machinery to help more than a dozen people out of their assisted living facility Monday, trapped from the mud that flooded their neighborhood during Tropical Storm Hilary.
It was the worst case scenario.
Cathedral City Fire Chief Michael Contreras says his crews completed 46 rescues, and it'll take days before they can clear away all the cars that were washed away.
It really has been since about 11 o'clock last night, one thing after another that just continues to compound on us.
The Cathedral City Fire Chief tells me the debris left behind is this mixture of sand and mud and water that's like quicksand, which made it extremely difficult to get to those who are in need. Sunday's storm dropped more than 6 months worth of rain on parts of drought-stricken Southern California, washing out roads and turning others into raging rivers. In the foothills of the San Bernardino Mountains, resident Steve Markham says the sandbags he put out to block the water didn't stand a chance.
There's boulders the size of a Volkswagen that are just sitting over there. So strange.
Joseph Ortega spent the day digging out his dad's truck after it got stuck in the road.
And he's kind of mad right now. But I told him, like, it's fine. Like, I'm doing what I have to do to get it out right now. Like, I don't mind. Oh, look at that!
Hillary also brought flooding to Las Vegas and heavy rain as far north as Idaho and Oregon. Jason Allen, CBS News, Cathedral City, California.
Wow, while Hillary hitting Southern California was a nearly once-in-a-century event, it's part of a growing trend of unusual and historic weather events. Last week, scientists at NOAA's Climate Prediction Center increased their warning for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season to above normal levels of activity. A little later, PSU makes the list of the top 100 Division II college football players in the country, and not just once or twice.
And how long can this heat wave possibly last? Well, I'll have the answer in your forecast when we come back, so stay tuned. Well, it's starting to sound like a broken record around here with the oppressive heat continuing day after day. And right now in Seneca, Missouri, it's a pretty nice evening with temperatures falling through the 80s down at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. This afternoon, we made it up to 100 degrees after starting out at 75. Of course, that was above the normals of 90 and 67. We were only 2 degrees away from the record set 20 years ago, back in 2003. And of course, we're a little bit ahead on the rainfall so far for the month, but we're way behind for the year, of course. And speaking of the summer and the year, we've been seeing temperatures above 100 degrees several times this summer, about 12 so far. And we're going to probably add a couple more to that before it all ends. We are under an excessive heat warning for this evening as well as into tomorrow, all the way till Wednesday at 10 o'clock. That includes southwest Missouri, southeastern Kansas, and it will be reissued again for northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas for tomorrow. Temperatures right now are dropping, but they're still pretty warm for this time of night. 89 in Independence, 90 still for our friends in Chanute, 84 in Stockton, 84 over in Monette as well for some of the coolest readings. But look at the dew points. This has been the major problem. We've been seeing dew points in the upper 70s to lower 80s. And when you factor in the temperature, that's what makes it feel so oppressively hot across our area. And in fact, it's off the scale in the dew point tracker beyond soupy. That's how much the dew points have been a factor. And this is what it feels like right now. 117 in Grove still, 116 in Anderson. And earlier, it felt like 127 in Jay, which set the Oklahoma all-time state record for the hottest heat index. That just goes to show you how oppressive it has been. And unfortunately, tomorrow it's going to be more of the same, with temperatures feeling like above 110. Look at Lamar, 118 tomorrow is what we're expecting it to feel like. And then as we go into Wednesday, still hot, 116 in Nevada and Stockton, 114 in Anderson, 113 in Veneta, so still oppressively hot. And then on Thursday, slightly cooler feeling, with temperatures feeling like only 108. So at least we're starting to see some improvement. Rain chances are going to be low for the next 36 hours, and it's all because of this upper level high that has been stubbornly sitting over our region, spinning around, but it is going to weaken, and it is going to start to retract back to the west, and as it does, pieces of energy will rotate around the edges, and that will start to increase our rain chances, and also some cooler and more normal air around here. In the meantime, temperatures in the mid-70s tonight. Tomorrow, temperatures again at or above 100 degrees, especially in southeastern Kansas. And then as we go into the Wednesday morning hours, temperatures in the mid-70s. And then Wednesday afternoon, it's going to get hot again. Temperatures above or at 100 degrees. The alert days continue all the way till Friday. And then finally, Dow, by the weekend, we get cooler around here with a chance of showers and storms and around normal with highs only in the upper 80s. Only in the upper 80s, I say, and then 60s for lows.
Yeah, I would say only on upper 80s. That sounds pretty nice,
relatively
speaking.
I'm really looking forward to it.
You bet. Thanks, Sam. This intense heat wave can cause issues for your vehicle, so AAA is giving out some tips to help. One is to keep an eye on any corrosive buildup on your battery caused by a faster evaporation of battery fluid. Another tip is to make sure your engine's cooling system has plenty of fluid and is working properly, and make sure your tires are properly inflated. Low tire pressure combined with hot road temperatures can increase the risk of a blowout. Still ahead, a few Pitt State football players received some preseason recognition. And Riverton High School football changes its practice time to avoid the heat. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Pitt State track and field alum Cordell Tinch lived out a childhood dream today. That being in front of a worldwide TV audience in Budapest. The Green Bay native represented Team USA in the 110-meter hurdles at the Outdoor World Championships. Unfortunately, he's just short of the time needed to qualify for the finals, which were held shortly later this evening. Tinch went 13.49 seconds in the Sunday prelims. That was good enough to qualify for the semifinals, but in the semis, he goes 13.31. A little bit faster, but not nearly as good as his fastest times from earlier this summer, which we'll throw up on your screen right now. Back in June at the Arkansas Grand Prix, that's where things really started clicking for Tinch. He set an all-time collegiate record and a facility record at the University of Arkansas by going 12.96 seconds. Now later in the summer, same event, he qualifies for Team USA by finishing with a 13.07 at the National Championships in Oregon. Now, the world champ from tonight, Grant Holloway from the U.S., he wins the finals with a time of 12.96, the exact same as Tinch's fastest, and second place finishes with 13.07. Missouri Southern women's basketball got a look at its revamped home locker room for the first time this afternoon during their first day of classes for the fall semester. Lions put the new locker room together thanks to financial support from Brad and Anita Oplotnik. Anita is a member of the Missouri Southern Athletics Hall of Fame, a former player on the Lions women's hoops team. And the 2023 Lions are coming off a 29-7 campaign last year. They've had to retool with some new faces in the offseason, but begin the year with a scrimmage on November 1st at Wichita State. Then their first official game comes on November 10th. Pitt State football. Over the weekend, they're in the news because D2Football.com releases its annual Elite 100 watch list, highlighting 100 of the top D2 college football players in the country. 3 Pitt State players make the list. O-lineman Trace Jeffries, tight end Devin Garrison, linebacker Dubem Okonkwo. Now, Garrison's the only one of the 3 on the first team. Other 2 were both on the second team. Jeffries, the O-lineman, he's entering his 6th and final year of college football. He's the team captain for the 2023 Gorillas. Garrison is a senior who caught 7 touchdowns and 614 yards a year ago. Now, Okonkwo, redshirt junior, had 39 tackles last year and an eye-popping 10.5 sacks. Today's 100-degree temperatures have made an impact on the local sports community as well. Riverton High School, an outdoor football practice just wasn't possible there. Practice at 3 p.m. in the sun and heat wasn't looking safe, so they choose between an 8 p.m. practice tonight or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, the Rams take the much more desirable option of those two. They go with the evening practice under the lights. Team full of 40-plus players hit the practice field. They had water breaks every 15 or 20 minutes to combat the effects of the heat. But the intensity of the practice still as high as ever as the Rams are trying to turn things around from last year's one-win season.
We talked about this today. We had a meeting this morning, and the heat's going to make us do something different. The good part is we hope it's only for a week, but these guys got to have some type of adjustment to the heat. It's still warm enough, plenty warm enough, as you can tell, to get that done. But we felt like we would get more done at 8 o'clock at night than we would at 5 o'clock in the morning. The dew's on the ground, so this is conducive to us getting the best practice that we can, and it's closer to game time scenario of when we're going to be playing on Friday nights.
I'm excited about the chemistry we have. I mean, this is our second year with Coach Weaver, but we have a pretty good connection with him. He's our baseball coach, our football coach, and he just tries to do everything with us.
And as someone who was at that Riverton High School football practice, I can attest to what Coach Weaver said. Still plenty hot. even though it was 8 p.m.
I don't doubt that for a moment. Probably cooler than it could have been otherwise, and added benefit, they get to play under the lights, which simulates real playing.
That's what they were saying, makes them get ready for Friday nights.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. You know, the fall severe weather season is going to be here before you know it, and when that severe weather strikes, you are going to want to be informed. You can do that by scanning this QR code. You can do it right now with that phone you have right there in your hand. It's going to take you to the KOAM News Now YouTube page, where our weather team will live stream during severe weather events to give you updated information. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Why not? Look at this. A trio of 10-week-old lion cubs at Werribee Open Range Zoo in Victoria, Australia have been given their names after an online poll. The 2 males, 1 female, were born to mom Nilo and dad Sharu on June 4th. The names were chosen through an online poll with more than 360,000 votes. Zoo officials say the cubs' names were chosen from languages used in the areas of Africa where the lions live in the wild. The boys are named Wheezy, meaning moon, and Django, which means brave. The girl is named Kianga, which means sunshine. Beautiful names, cute cubs. Whenever I see lion cubs, I can't help thinking of Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think of
every time
playing, wrestling? Yeah.
Well, sunshine's going to have lots of sunshine here. If it was here in the 4 states with temperatures close to 100 degrees, chance of showers finally arriving on the weekend, and that's when the temperatures actually start dropping. And look at that, a high of only 85 on Monday. That's like a cold wave.
Yes. I probably will not be getting out the park just
no,
yet.
not just yet.
But it's a big improvement. Final sports note.
Keep reading that pigskin preview. We are getting up on week 1 here in Missouri. Kansas starts again a week from Friday, so good time to learn up on opponents coming up.
Yeah, and of course you'll find that online. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.